Hello guys, this is our first Big Sister training. So this is just part one. Part two, we will actually do an interactive live Microsoft Teams meeting. And that's when we'll have I'll answer any questions and we'll just talk more as a group and everything. But for this part one, I'll just be talking to you guys and giving you guys some more information on being a big sister, especially in this upcoming fall when things might look a little different because of COVID. So, every member of Zeta Sigma is required to watch this if they've not already been a big. So this will be your part one of your training. And most of the information that I give you guys is subject to change just because of how unsure everything is right now when we're planning for the fall. So all the dates I'm giving you guys are not set in stone at all. It's just kind of following the timeline that we've always followed, and then we will make adjustments as needed. So one of the biggest changes for this year is that we're just going to have to be so flexible. And I know sometimes we feel like we're already really flexible, but this time we're just going to have to be ready to change things at the last second because really everyone's safety is what we're most concerned with. So we are starting with our little PowerPoint. So in addition to this video, I'm giving you guys some links, which includes a Big Sister training PowerPoint. So feel free to look over it at the same time with me or just look at it later. And then I'll also be giving you a Hello Potential Big Sister document, which kind of breaks down most of the dates and information that I will be telling you guys today. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to identify our basic expectations as a big sister. So, we always have to start off with the obvious. You must be academically, financially, and judicially in good standing with our chapter. So, that just means get all your dues paid, make sure that there's nothing left over so that way you can't get financially expelled, because it's kind of hard to be able to afford to have a little if you can't pay your dues. So just make sure you get all that squared away. Same with your grades. You need to be in good standing with your grades because that should always be your number one focus while you're in school. So having a little is a privilege and it's a lot of fun, but it can also be a distraction for girls who are already struggling with school. So just make sure that you're on top of it when it comes to school and that you are good at balancing all of your time management and all of that. Judicially, I think y'all are pretty good. As long as you're not in judicial trouble, then you are good to go. So yes, that is the basics. Okay. So, as a big sister, your job is to use your big little relationship in any way that your little may need. So sometimes your little might need someone to go to for guidance concerning school, Zeta, family, any of that kind of stuff. And your job is to basically let her know that whenever she feels like she needs anything, you are an ear that she can go to and you're ready to listen at any time. They might not always take you up on that. Maybe they won't always need that. But it's your job to make sure that you know that you're always an option and that you do genuinely care for their well-being. That being said, sometimes your relationship with your little isn't how you maybe envisioned it. Everyone has a different relationship with their big than no one has the same relationship. So regardless of what y'all's relationship is like, you should always be willing to support her in every aspect. And she should always know that she is loved and cherished in that way. So just try to make sure to always keep that in your attitude. Okay. Oh, here's a big one. As a big sister, it is your job to encourage your little or littles to get involved. So, we do have some issues in our chapter with involvement, and we're always trying to improve that. And that's from every membership standpoint. That's from the new members, that's from active members, that's from everyone. We always want to encourage more involvement. In my experience, usually the more involved that a big sister is, the more involved that a little will be. And you can help improve and encourage involvement by simply texting before an event and being like, hey, I'm gonna go to this tonight. I am excited to be there. I'm hoping you'll be there too and we can hang out. Or maybe let's get slushies after chapter, and you know, that way they're like just trying to check in on them and make sure that they go to stuff, because obviously it's not like mandatory for them to come to everything, but in general we all know that what you put into Zeta is what you get out of Zeta. So to make sure that they have the best experience, you want to make sure that they're coming to as much as they can, and I would still say that for you guys too, like all across membership, you get out what you put into it, and the more that you go to and the more that you like make sure that you're involved in, usually the more like joy that you're going to get out of your membership experience. And you know, sometimes it's not about the event itself that's so thrilling. You know, I'm going to be honest, sometimes some of our events, maybe if we're doing like one of the service events, maybe you're not very excited about it. But you can be excited about the fact that you're going to be spending time with close friends and making memories with them and getting to laugh and talk to them. You know, so it's like making sure that you're always looking at that positive side of things, just because college in general and Zeta can get very overwhelming. But just keeping that positive attitude, it can really go a long way. So yes. Okay, so as a big sister, you will be serving as a mentor. That means whenever she has questions, the first person that she'll probably think of going to is you. And it's good to remember when you were in her spot as a new member, things can get very confusing very quickly. Like they can just throw out some words at you at chapter sometimes, and you just kind of nod along, and then in your head you're like, yeah, I don't know what any of that was. And you just get kind of confused. So I, obviously as their VP2, I'm going to try my best to explain things to them in the simplifiest way, you know, but it really will help if you guys also like go back and remember to like make sure you simplify things for them and explain things, and then just remembering how you felt and like say things in an attitude that you would have wished you would have heard it in. So instead of being like, ugh, chapter, maybe don't say it like that to them, right? Maybe like, oh yeah, we do this at chapter and this is how it's gonna be. So like explain it with a positive attitude instead of like something to negatively say. So yeah. Dun dun dun. Anti-hazing. I think we're all pretty great with this, but just key points to remember is that hazing can look many different ways. So always check in and make sure that, like, you know, body language wise, that like they're comfortable, because you just don't want to go anywhere near that line of crossing that. So you guys know we do not haze at all. We have zero tolerance. And just going back to remembering when you were a new member, you wouldn't want to be in a group of girls that make you feel pressured to act a certain way or do certain things. So we don't want to give off any of those kind of vibes. We don't want to do anything like that to our beloved new members. We want to make sure that they are supported, comfortable, and they know that we care about them. So, and they should always feel confident to be able to talk to us about any of those issues if they do come up. So just make sure that you make it clear we do not haze. If they ever feel that way, or if they ever feel like we're trying to tell them to do something that they are not comfortable with, that they can, that they have resources to go to, and that we are very supportive. So yes, do not haze. Okay, so when thinking about becoming a big sister, my main objective for you guys is to really think about when you were little, because if you go back and think about what you wanted when you were a little and a new member, what you were hoping for out of those kind of relationships and bonds from Zeta, that will help you better act and reflect on how to be a good big. Just because they're probably going to want similar to the same things as what you wanted. Every new member experience is different, but usually there's some doubt in there. You know, some people are scared. Sometimes they just want to drop. Sometimes they're not clicking as well. Sometimes there's drama. So just being able for you guys to put yourself in their position and truly just always be open to helping them, that's going to go a long way. So let's talk about some inappropriate versus appropriate things to do when you have a little. So a good big little relationship will be, you know, super open, super like, let's go do this, this, and this. That's great. There are certain things that we do not want you guys to be encouraging your littles. So it's appropriate to say, hey, it's Friday night. Do you want to go out to Chili's and get dinner and hang out? That's super appropriate. Something that's not so appropriate would be, hey, Kappa Sig's throwing a party on Friday. You know, let's go and get trashed. you know, let's try to not do that, because that can be a form of hazing, by the way. But also just in general, we are trying to foster true relationships and friendships, like lifelong bonds here. So just kind of encouraging and being a big sister that's like good for hanging out and not partying, that's awesome. So just to know the difference between what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, that's a big thing, especially because there are rules about that, so we need to make sure that we adhere to them.
What's for dinner?
Okay, so now if you have like a cute little like piece of paper that you've been taking notes on, great for you. Just on the side, you're just gonna write a little word for me, because at the end we'll have multiple words, and then you'll text them to me as proof that you've watched the whole thing. So if you could write the word white. White, there we go. That is your first keyword. Yeehaw. Okay. So, I think this is going to be backwards on my video, but it's fine. Okay. So, next thing I want to talk about is how being a good big sister looks like many different things. So, like I've already said, every big and little relationship is so unique. Not everyone has the same relationship. And in your head, you might have a certain relationship with your little in mind, but you don't always have to be best friends with your little. If it works out that way, that's amazing, and I'm so happy that it does. But you shouldn't have expectations that are way up here, because sometimes, especially when we have a semester like COVID, where it's just gonna throw things off a little bit and make some new challenges, then you might not have some expectations that get met. So, as long as you realize that you can have many different forms of a big little relationship, that's good. Especially because we do get girls that are so different from each other, you know, and you probably will not only have one little. I have 3 littles, and my relationship with all 3 of them are completely different. Not one of our relationships are the same. And that's great, because that's how it should be. You should be unique in your relationships that you're building. And that goes for friends, relationships, etc. But the same applies in this situation. You know, you should always be able to be like that first person that they have for when you have like zeta questions. But, you know, you can have different levels of mentorship. So just make sure that you don't have crazy expectations, because you don't want yourself getting hurt, you know. And I'll be honest, sometimes girls will take multiple littles and they'll be like, oh, well, this one I wasn't expecting to take, but the relationship they end up fostering with this person versus someone they like really thought they would like absolutely love, sometimes it'll surprise you, because relationships can change over time, which we all know. Some girls that I first met in Zeta, I never thought that they would be as close to me as they are now. And it's been a year and a half, 2 years. So it changes over time. And the exact same thing is with big and little. Your relationship can always change. The other thing is, it's never ending. You know, just because you're now becoming bigs doesn't mean that your relationship with your big has to change at all. Same with when you're done, like after your first year of them being your little, you're not done being a big. You know, you're forever their big sister. And you can always continue to grow that bond. So just always remember that. It doesn't end after the first semester, after the first year. It doesn't end if you take more littles later. It doesn't change. You know, it's always there. It's always building. So that's always something to remember. Dun, dun, dun. Also, being a good big also means you're willing to take any little. So when I say that, I know like when we go through recruitment, sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, I want her. She's on my mind. I really want her so badly. But like I've said, a lot of us do have to take twins and triplets. So the way I want to address that is because I want you guys to think about how many active members we have in our chapter right now. I think we're sitting around 40 or 50. I could be, I don't know. But that's not a whole lot. So we always plan for a pledge class of 50 to 60 because just in case. Sorry, my little brother interrupted me. Okay, as I was saying, think about how many active members we have in our chapter. It's probably around 40, or I would say 30 or 40. I don't know. My point is, if we're preparing for a pledge class of 50 to 60 girls, which is possible, okay? That's just, we're going to throw that out there because who knows about all these people transferring to UTA, and because of Corona, they didn't get a prom, they didn't really get a good graduation, etc., etc. So maybe that they're going to go through recruitment hoping to make up for those lost experiences that they didn't get. So it's very possible that we could have a boom or a surge in our numbers. So the thing is, we all need to be prepared. If you think about it numbers wise, if we only have 40 actives and say we do get a pledge class of 55 girls, that means everyone most likely will be taking twins. So you have to mentally be prepared for that just in case. Maybe we won't have such a big pledge class and that won't be the case, and we'll be able to adjust, and you know, people will take one little and maybe some will have twins. But like, we always need to be prepared for the issue of it coming up, of where we have so many more new members than we do actives. So if that's the case, I want every single girl, every single active to be prepared to take twins. And that's just kind of the reality of our chapter. We always have a really big new member class compared to our actives. So that's not really something we can negotiate about. That's just, we have a lot of new members and we can't not give them a big, because that wouldn't be fair. You know, that wouldn't be good. Like, if you imagine how you would feel not getting a big. So we can't do that. So we have to give twins. So just take that into consideration and prepare yourself to take twins possibly. And then if not, then okay. You know, things will happen and they'll all work out for a reason. But for right now, I do want every single one of you to prepare to take twins. So yeah. So that is where I was going with being prepared to take any little. So when we are taking forms from the little and big preference sheets, when the matches are made, if a little wants you so badly that you're her number one, regardless of if she was on your list or not, you should be thrilled to take her. Because, once again, put yourself in her shoes. How would you feel if everyone on your list, your 1, 2, your 3, your 4, all of them didn't, like, you didn't know if they were gonna want you back? You know, that's not a cool feeling. So we need every girl to be prepared to take any little that is just dying to have them. Because that's probably going to be the situation where your relationship is going to be something that you didn't even see coming. You know, like, that's the kind of thing over time, it's going to grow into something that you were not expecting. Especially because sometimes we do get so stuck on, I want this girl, I want this one girl is my eye, I have my eye on her. And then sometimes you kind of get blinded to the other amazing, great new members. But they are seeing you and they're like, I have my eye on her. So just remember, the good mentality of being a big sister is willing to take any new member because they simply want you, you know, and that is such a compliment to be like, they wanted you. That's amazing. And remember, getting a little is a privilege. So the fact that you'd get chosen, like, at all, that's amazing. Very awesome. Very cool. And that's kind of how it goes when you get twins and possibly triplets. It can be hard for you to feel like you were prepared for it, but that's kind of why I want to make this video clear to you guys that I do want you to be prepared to take twins. I want you to be prepared to take more than one little, and I want you to be prepared to take anybody that comes through our doors with love and open arms, right? Treating them with so much unconditional love. So that's what being a good big is. It's just identifying what they need from you and then doing your dang best to deliver it. Always. So, yes. Okay, positivity always. We kind of already touched on this, but I just want to reiterate that when someone is a new member, they still have those beautiful rose-colored glasses on, and they love Zeta. They love it, love it, love it. And that is a beautiful thing, because we want everyone to always love Zeta. Take that through them the whole time. We all have different reasons that we stay in Zeta, but usually those reasons are different than why we joined. So usually when we're first joining, we're head over heels in love with it. We want to carry that on for them as long as we possibly can. And that starts with you, for sure. Big sisters, you guys have the most impact on their excitement and positivity. So just making sure that you always show that 100% love for Zeta as long as you can, then that's gonna go so far. It really will. Obviously, some negative people will always, whatever. But as long as you do your best to literally always be happy about Zeta and just doing that, they'll see that and they'll look up to that, because that is their biggest role model, is their big sister, and they're gonna mimic that. And if you go to more stuff, they're gonna go to more stuff. So it goes like that. So we need to make sure that we're always doing our best. So yes. I also want to tell you guys that we obviously care very much about what you guys want out of your big little relationship. We care about your guys' membership just as much as theirs. So when we're making pairs, we're trying to do it in the best interest of what you guys are also expecting out of this relationship. So it's best if you have any issues when it comes to, like, I absolutely cannot take more than one little, I need that to be communicated right away. So that way when I'm doing things, I can make pairs to the best of my ability with the knowledge that I've been given. And that kind of just goes with like anything else. If you're like, I absolutely cannot take blah blah blah, I need to know why. I need you guys to keep communicating with me. And just we have to keep that kind of stuff up. So I'm going to now go over some of the dates and clue regulations for this semester. First, I will give you your second word now. So our next word is violets. Yeah, you see where I'm going with that. Gotta make sure I'm like doing the right flower. It's white violet, yeah, okay. Anyway, just had to make sure I was doing that right. Okay. So, bid day is September 7th. That's Monday, that's Labor Day, I'm pretty sure. So Crown Sis dates, they start on September 8th. How it works is on bid day, on the 7th, I am going to ask each new member some people that they are more interested in getting to know. And so I will give you names that night on the 7th. You will have probably around 3 names. Most likely that's how it works out usually. It is your job and your responsibility to text them right away and try to figure out a time that works for them to get together. Now things are going to be different this semester. With getting in person. So if you or they are not comfortable with meeting in person, then that's fine. That's totally understandable. You can do FaceTime, you can do Zoom, you can do Teams, any of that kind of stuff. So just remember that. Yes, so that is from September 8th to September 16th by noon. You have to be done by noon on September 16th. And then September 16th, we'll do the forms for filling out preferences of bigs and littles. So yeah, but even though you guys are filling out those forms where you're doing 1, 2, 3 and all that, you'll actually be doing like 1 through 6. But still, I want to reiterate, it's really awesome when you're willing to take absolutely anybody, and we will be holding every girl to that. So yes. Clue 1, it will be due on Friday, September 18th at 4 p.m. So basically, you'll be dropping it off at Zeta. I want to tell y'all, I have made these clues a lot cheaper than previously. And the reason why is because I know it can get expensive. Also, if a lot of girls are taking twins, I don't want to make you guys just have one more thing to complain about money-wise. So I'm doing my best to make these clues as cost efficient as possible. So, so that's when, if you do have issues when it comes to the prices that I'm asking for in these templates, that's when you have to reach out to me now, so that way I know if you absolutely cannot work with what I have laid out here. Also, we are willing to help people who are taking twins. You know, my advisor, all of the advisors, they want to help. We have Mid-Cities alum that we're connected to. They also want to help. We know it's a big deal to be a big, and financials shouldn't be the reason to stop you. That's why I've made these clues as cheap as I can, and the fact that I have already started saving t-shirts and canvases and random stuff to help bigs who need that help. I'm definitely trying to help you guys because I understand. So that's one reason we do not want you to be not taking a little. Is financials should not be a reason. If it is for some reason, please let me know. The sooner the better, so that way we can get you the help that, like, we can line up some help, or we can just talk about it and see what's up. So yes. And remember, I took 3, so I know how expensive they are, so you can't really just, like, bullcrap me about finances. Like, you know, you can't be like, oh, $300 each girl. Honey, I will give you tips and tricks on how to save some money. Don't worry. So yes, our first clue is around $2 to $7. That's it. Very, very simple. I will show you. All that you're doing is you're getting a letter of their initial and you're decorating it. That's it. That's the whole clue. Before, it was snacks. Guess what? People would eat it and then they'd forget and they wouldn't even care. That's not a good keepsake. No, no, no. Now, someone, if my big, would get me this because my name's Erin, so they'd get me an E. And then they would decorate it because they'll fill out a form of all their cool stuff. So, you know, you just decorate it. And I'll show you. This one was $2.99 at, I don't know, probably Michael's. But I have bought letters a little bit bigger than that for $1.49 after tax at Hobby Lobby. And they've got a 40% coupon all the time, etc., etc. So $2 to get that. Maybe $7 if you want to get those giant and big ones that are crazy. Do not spend more than $7 because then you're insane and everyone else will be mad at you. So yes. But Zeta has paint, we have rhinestones, we have ribbons, we have glitter guns, we have, I don't think that's a thing. Anyway, we have a lot of stuff at Zeta that you can use to decorate. So you don't have to buy any of that extra stuff. We have most of it at Zeta. If you want to buy maybe some flowers from the Dollar Tree, that's an extra $1 or $2. Put some flowers. You know, you can go spend a little bit on that. But once again, you're not going to be spending a whole lot. So $2 for the first clue, that's a good deal. Yeah. If you have 3 littles, that's only $6. We'd love that. Okay, clue 2 will be due on Sunday, September 20th, also due at 4 p.m. And that is a $10.
Okay, so like I was saying, clue 2 is $10 to $20. So all that you're doing in clue 2 is 1 t-shirt, 1 canvas, 1 drink, and 1 food. And those are the limits. So that means that if you don't want to do a t-shirt, you can do a picture frame instead. If you don't want to do a canvas, you can do a cup instead. You can substitute those for cheaper things, whatever. But you're basically spending in between $10 to $20 on clue 2. And this is also where if all of a sudden you're like, I need a t-shirt, and you have twins, that's when you'd come to me, see if I have anything to help. Probably I will, because I've been trying to do my best to collect things to help you guys. So yes, clue 2, not that expensive. And then, like, you know, just get them a bag of chips, that's $3. Get them a 2-liter, that's $2. You're already halfway done. And then throw in a t-shirt that either you don't like, or, well, don't give them something you don't like, but, you know, just, yeah, a t-shirt that you have laying around or something. I also want to reiterate that this is the time where you can give away stuff that your big gave you. I used to think like, wow, I could never give away the stuff my big gave me. They actually don't mind, because if it helps you, and you know, they want to help you. So definitely feel free to give away some of the stuff that you didn't really touch that were in your baskets because you want to make it look more full and whatnot. So yes, remember, $2 to $7 on the first clue, 10 to 20 on the second clue. So if you're staying with the minimums, you're around $12 right now. That's pretty good. And you can always, find ways to cut that even cheaper if you really have the good hookups. Clue 3 is a $20 to $25 gift clue. So this will include your reveal outfit theme type thing. So that's the main part of the clue, is their reveal, whatever that you get them. Whether it's a t-shirt, an outfit, accessories, a matching headband, whatever y'all do in your family, that's that. And you're allowed to get them 2 more shirts and 2 more canvases and 2 other small gifts. And I in my little thing I'm going to send you guys, I have good examples of little gifts, such as picture frames, candles, photo books, whatever. So yes. There are a lot of stores that are really good for like getting those little fluff things, such as like Miss A, Five and Below, Target dollar section, Dollar Tree, clearance at Anywhere, TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls. Those kind of places have really cute, like knick-knacky, fluffy things that are pretty inexpensive to help you guys stay in these budgets. Once again, use t-shirts or canvases that your big gave you that you wouldn't mind passing down. I'll have some things to help you guys for the people who are taking more than one little and that need assistance. And I will have stuff to help people who only have one little, but I want to make it clear that people who take more get first dibs on everything, since they are taking more people. So yes. Okay, I think that's it for that's most of the information money-wise. So that's just me reiterating that I don't want financials to be a reason to stop you guys from taking a little. So if that is something you're genuinely worried about, come to me and we'll definitely try to work that out, or, we'll just talk about it. So yes, before I give you guys our last little word and whatnot, I wanted to just let you guys know that coming into the fall, big and little pairs will be like the most important part in the new members' experience, because we don't know exactly how COVID will be impacting how often we can get together or how our group settings are going to look alike. And so our biggest challenge this semester might be getting a genuine connection across with our new members, because sometimes it can be hard through a screen. So the time that they are interacting with us in person, it's going to be a big deal. That's what's really going to make or break their first semester experience. And having a good big that constantly either checks up on them and FaceTimes them, or, constantly is like going out with them, like just the two of them hanging out, that's going to make or break a good relationship and probably how they feel about Zeta. It's also going to be, we're going to be utilizing more like small group setting type things, like 2 bigs and their littles, right? That'll be maybe a good group of 5 girls right there. And then, if we're going to be like, okay, you guys can go out and do this, or, just make groups like that size, you guys will be easier to stay together and like obey social distancing and, not so much of a fear of, like having too many people at a space at one time. So we are going to be trying to utilize small groups more and more throughout this semester. And so that does start with making a good impact with your little sister. So just something to think about. Really be prepared to like mentally prepare yourself to be really social and like really outgoing with the new members, and like open your social, open yourself to the social situations that hopefully you'll be comfortable in, because they're going to be the ones who are a little less comfortable, because we all know each other already, but they haven't met any of us face to face, and we don't know at what point they're going to be able to come in and meet us face to face. Hopefully bid day, but maybe not. So since we don't know yet about how that's going to go, it might be hard for us to foster those relationships. So big sisters will be like crucial during this semester, especially. So if y'all could just remember that and really put yourselves out there and just be like very opening to many girls, that would just be great. Also, one last thing, I really hope that going into this semester, one of the most exciting things for you guys is becoming a big, because it is so rewarding. It is the best part of being in a sorority. It is like, it's like Christmas. It really is. I know we always say bid day is like Christmas, but getting your little, there's nothing like it. When you get the call the night when, I'll be like, oh, I'll call you guys later tonight, you'll be waiting for hours. You'll be like, when's Aaron gonna call me? When's Aaron gonna call me? And when you get that call, it's just, you're gonna be so high up there. You're gonna be so happy. It is truly one of the best experiences is getting that call and hearing the names of the 3 people. Well, for me it was 3, but we'll see what you guys have. Just hearing the names of the girls that you're lucky enough to like, they wanted you and you wanted them, and it's just, seriously, it's the best feeling ever. So I really hope that you guys go into this with like so much excitement. I really want you guys to be like thrilled to take these girls, because they've already missed out on quite a bit of senior year things that they didn't think they'd miss out on. So I'm thinking that their excitement's going to be, whew, So I just want you guys to also have that great thrilling energy, and just be ready to expand your families. It's going to be a great semester. It is what we make it. And like I said, the better relationships that we build, that's what Zeta is all about, is making our personal relationships. So it starts with Big Little, starts with you guys just getting in there. So definitely ready for this. Our last word, which my little whiteboard's over there excited to take a break for dinner. Our last word is and strawberries. So our little phrase, you can text me, proof that you watched and listened to this whole video, is white violets and strawberries. So just text it to me, and yeah, that's your proof that you completed part 1. Yay. And then part 2 will be on teams, and I'll be posting more about that later. So yes. And if there's any questions, I'll be definitely open to talking about anything and everything. You can text me, or we can just wait till the team's meeting and we can do that. But I will definitely be ready for your questions. Hopefully this was some good information, Hopefully you guys are feeling excited, because it is going to be the most exciting part. Like, it is such a thrill planning out your reveal costumes and all of that. Literally the best. Just during the ceremony when they turn around and they see your face, like it's the best. I want y'all to be very excited. I want y'all to be happy. It'll be great. So I know you'll all be great big sisters too. But for now, this is it. I'll see you in part 2 when we do our live chat. Love you guys.